Hello there, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jamie.
And we are the hosts of Bloodbath, a true crime podcast.
We are here to keep the victims' names alive and also make fun of the bad guys in the process.
Because let's be real, they deserve it. We cover all the cases and more.
Catch a new episode every Friday wherever you get podcasts.
But wait,
there's more.
Bye 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 bye.
Hello and welcome. What the fuck? We'll just restart that. Blip, 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 blip. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Three's a Crime, a true crime podcast. I'm Tori.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Lindsay.
And that's our intro.
Here we are professional podcasters.
We're podcasters, bitches. Well, welcome back to another episode of Three's a Crime.
Three's a Crime,
a true crime podcast.
Welcome to Three's a Crime.
So today we're going to be doing the part two.
Part deux.
Of
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Kevin Co.
FredKev. This fucking piece of fucking shit. I'm coming in hot.
Yes, she is today.
I got enough of these rapists. Take the rapist.
Lost my words. Sorry, Lindsay coming in so hot. Just
I know, it caught you off guard.
It caught me off guard. My brain just was like, "Whoa,
yeah,
who's this bitch?"
Yeah.
So today's gonna be part 2 of our South Hill rapist story. And in between recording the first one and the second one, I found a document which we're going to talk about more towards the end of the episode. But it's so fucked up.
We're like sitting there getting all of our food ready, and she's sitting there and she's like, "You guys, listen to this," and just found all the details.
In the bathroom, I could hear her go, "What?"
Yeah, she's walking around with her iPad with a horrified face.
Really
it's
loud
one
here.
of the most disturbing documents that I've ever read. And it really goes to show how brutal of a rapist, brutal of a person, garbage human he is. And not to kink shame, but he definitely had a lot of kinks, which makes sense now why in reading that document, it made sense to me why the prosecution had asked his former
about
girlfriend
their sex life.
about their sex life, because the things he did really mirror that a lot. Anyway, so we'll talk about that later. We're going to start off this episode talking about the co-tapes. Now, after FredKevin was convicted and sentenced, one of Ruth's friends kind of made an offhand joke about knowing someone in the mafia. Ruth apparently pulled her aside and was like, "Hey, do you really know someone in the mafia? Because I got some people I want to get rid of." So
that's what you always say to somebody,
right? Yeah.
When you need to kill someone,
exactly.
That's how you get yourself arrested.
Yeah. And so after a little bit of time, a hitman actually reached out to her, and they set up a meeting in a parking lot. What Ruth didn't know
That's where I
is,
meet my hitman.
Right? I mean, that's where else would you meet a hitman?
You wouldn't want to meet him at your house.
No, definitely not. So what Ruth didn't know is that this meeting that she was going to have was with an undercover officer, and
Hell yeah.
I figured.
she was being taped.
Yeah, well.
Yep, that's what happens.
So I'm gonna read you their conversation, okay?
Also, just real quick, did you know there's a show about this? They record people trying to get a hitman, and then they're arrested. But
Oh.
like, it's
I didn't know
a
there.
TV
I mean,
show.
I've definitely seen people like there was that stupid bitch in like Florida, and her husband was like, or maybe were they in Florida or New Jersey? I don't know. He was real beefy though, like Jersey Shore kind of guys.
Oh,
And she tried to have him killed.
yeah.
And then the cops, puts on this whole act for the cops. And then while they're questioning her, because the guy that she had hired, the guy that she had reached out to find her a hitman, which was like a former guy that she had dated, was like, this bitch is fucked up, and called the cops. So the guy she met with was an undercover officer. And so obviously they were able to protect the husband.
Yeah.
But she's told by the police that he's dead. And so she does this whole thing and whatever and cries.
Oh
and,
my god.
And then she's like in the middle of, after they're just like, well, you're going to be arrested because it's her. They fucking bring the husband into the room.
Oh my god. What a fucking dramatic. They're like, you guys. That's such a good idea.
Everybody's crowded around the fucking camera.
And I feel like
the TV.
I feel like it was like on Cops or something. Like they were filming
That
a
sounds
TV
like
show.
Totally.
When this all happened. So
It's probably a Dateline or something. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the conversation between Ruth and the undercover officer. Ruth says, I want the prosecutor out and I want the judge out.
Oh my god, you dumb bitch.
The officer says, we're talking about the same thing. You want those people, Ruth says, gone. He says, dead? Ruth, dead. Right. If I had my druthers, I'd have that prosecutor just made a complete vegetable so that he could never, ever be anything but a vegetable. So they had to care for him forever, and he lived on and on that way. And the judge, you see, interrupts her and says, just tell me what you want.
I don't want to hear about your vegetables.
I don't fucking care.
Woman.
I don't fucking care about how
Ruth
you want to be a parsnip.
Ruth says, well, and that judge, I'd like him gone, dead. And I'd like both of them dead. Really, except with that Brockett, who's the prosecutor. I felt that he's a man about 46 or 47, and he's been so filthy, and my feeling for him is that I would love to see him just an addle-pated vegetable that had to be cared for, that his family had to take care of him for the rest of his life. He wanted 42 years of my son's life gone. I'd like to see him sit 42 years in as a baby. But to have him gone would be great too. I mean, you can never be sure, I suppose, how you clobber them. That could be the way it'd come out. So dead is great, but I do think he should suffer.
My
She
god.
must have been a fun woman to hang out with.
I mean,
Yeah. So
Jesus Christ.
Ruth had offered the undercover officer $4,000 for the hit on the judge and prosecutor. $4,000 for two people.
that's not a lot of
That's
money.
not a lot of
Well,
money.
that was the
No.
80s.
Well, that is true.
That is
it would
true.
probably be like 10 today.
Yeah, that's what. Like, that now is nothing. And if they're charging you with that, it's a fucking
I don't know how
setup.
much a hit goes
Yeah.
for, but I was thinking more like in the 10,000s.
Yes.
More than
I mean, like at least $10,000.
Yeah.
I would
like you
think.
gotta make it.
Worth it.
Yeah, you gotta make it worth it to me, man.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
not gonna. You
not that we're
can't.
gonna
You can't
kill
pay me
anybody.
enough
We are
money
not.
to
Yeah,
kill someone.
we're not available
Yeah.
for hire in that.
Sorry.
We are not. We are closed for business.
We are not sneaky.
No, not hit women.
Not hit women.
So on November,
Our show is a hit, though.
Oh! Pew, pew, pew.
That was a nice moment.
on November 20th, Ruth Coe is arrested on charges of criminal solicitation for murder involving a plan to have a hitman kill the judge and prosecutor when she provides the undercover officer with a $500 down payment for the murders.
Oh.
Apparently, when she was arrested, she said, I thought so. I thought so. That's right. I really did think so.
Okay.
Oh,
Like,
that's nice.
that she, yeah, like,
Good
I
job, you.
thought I was being set up.
But I just kept saying all these things and digging
Yeah.
myself in a hole.
Yeah, seriously.
So she's held on $500,000
Oh,
bail.
fuck.
See, that's how much you gotta offer to
Yeah,
kill somebody.
totally.
I mean, that's
Right,
a more
yeah.
reasonable amount.
Yeah.
So
Don't undercut small businesses, okay?
Yeah.
let me just
Trying to make a living.
tell you, this is like this shit is gonna make your guys' blood boil.
Oh my God.
All right. So on November 23rd, Ruth appeared in court to plead not guilty to 2 counts of premeditated solicitation for first-degree murder. She's released on bail 2 days later.
Fabulous.
On January 8th of 1982, she pleads innocent before Snohomish County Judge Robert Bibb. Meanwhile, Kevin's attorneys are appealing his case. On April 28th, Coe denied that he had confessed to any sexual attacks. Remember the one that he confessed to because he was trying to get into that sexual psychopath program?
Yes.
Now he denies that he confessed to any attack, saying that his confession was only a part of a plan to get him committed. On May 17th, Ruth's trial starts. The prosecution introduces the tape recording of Mrs. Coe making arrangements for the murders. The defense contends she was entrapped. Now, I don't really...
You solicited him. He didn't walk up to you and say, hey, you want me to kill a guy?
Well, I mean, technically, when they found out that she was looking for a hitman, I believe I read that he did call her. But you still met with him. You still handed him money.
You still said all the things out of your own fucking mouth.
So then on May 17th, so at this point, Ruth's trial had made national and international news. Like, there were articles like
Rich
Daily Mail.
bitch.
Daily Mail. You don't have to have
I
the
like
mayor,
the Daily
mayor.
It's the Daily Mayor of Easttown.
Mayor of Easttown.
That's their newspaper.
So Ruth had opted for a bench trial, and that means that there's no jury. The judge alone decides the case. She's represented pro bono by Carl Maxey, who, at least locally, and even more than locally, I mean, he was a famous and controversial civil rights attorney. Like, he was I'm so disappointed to see that he was involved in this, because he's like kind of a personal hero to me, and I just was like, oh God.
I wonder if is he from here? They were friends?
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah, he was a longtime family friend of the Coast, which is why. And he initially was going to be Kevin's attorney, and I don't remember why they decided to go a different way, but but Carl Maxey does defend Ruth, and his defense was basically that Ruth was just batshit. Well, I mean, he used the words diminished capacity, but you get the drift.
Yeah.
One psychiatrist testified that Ruth had said she'd seen horns growing out of the judge's head when he sentenced FredKevin.
Oh.
Gordon, her husband,
throwing things out.
Yeah, testified that she had been abusing a cocktail of drugs like lithium, which she was prescribed for her bipolar, but he said like she had been like this cocktail for like years. And apparently she was also suicidal after Kevin's conviction.
I believe all of that.
Yeah. The prosecution,
Totally.
But the prosecution argued that she knew exactly what she was doing and was fueled by rage and a desire for vengeance.
100%.
And I wrote, personally, I think it was both.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. I'm sure her brain was so fucked after all those fucking drugs that she's gone.
Yeah,
to the winds.
she is not. Yeah. So I definitely think she was batshit, but I also think she was fully in control of her faculties.
Absolutely.
Like, she knew what she was doing.
Yes.
So
yeah, she knew what was going on.
So despite Maxey's objections, the Coe tapes were obviously introduced into evidence. Several days into the trial, Maxey heard that the Coe tapes were going to be played on local news station KHQ.
Oh!
And that they had obtained them from prosecutor Mary K. Barbieri, who is the chief deputy of the criminal division of the Seattle prosecutor's office. Maxey argued against this and stated that it could send Ruth into a suicidal state. Judge Bibb called a hearing and ordered that the tapes not be played. KHQ was like, fuck that, played them anyway, and had to pay a $2,000 fine.
Hell yeah.
But a hysterical Ruth was hospitalized, which halted the trial for several days. Okay, guys, now I'm going to tell you something. I told this to my boss, and he was like jaw on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. On May 28th, Ruth received her sentence. The judge found her guilty, but literally gave her the lightest possible sentence. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, but he suspended the sentence.
What?
She would spend 1 year in the county jail of her choosing.
What?
And 10 years probation. He was like, this whole thing just played out like a Greek tragedy, and he felt bad for her.
What the fuck?
Did she give him the blowy? Like, is she
I put
up his asshole?
he felt the whole situation played like a Greek tragedy and took pity on her. supposedly, in all
Yeah.
caps. I'm like, who paid you? Because, like,
Totally. That's
so
fucking wild.
Crazy.
So on June 20th, Ruth began her 1-year sentence, but only ended up actually serving a few months in jail because then she got work release in Spokane and later in Seattle. So she basically,
Wow.
she had 10 years of probation, like literally
Wow.
a slap on the wrist.
Yep.
Like not even a
Lucky.
slap on the wrist.
This is why people
Lucky.
think rich white people get away with things.
Because
But
rich
this
white
is what
people get away with
happens.
things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just, I'm like, she tried to put a hit on a judge
and
and-
a prosecutor.
and a prosecutor, and now another judge is just like, well, I think you were really upset, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna let this one go. What the fuck?
Probably bought a really good boat with that money.
Yeah. So on July 31st, Fred Coe legally changed his name to Kevin Coe.
Oh my god.
And I put a
Oh my
name he had
God.
given himself and been using for several years. So from this
Hashtag
point
BTK.
on, I'll just call him Kevin.
I just whenever
Which is what
you
most
say
people
Kevin,
know
I think
him
of
of.
Kevin
Yeah, Kevin.
McAllister. I think of Kevin from Home Alone,
Oh my god.
and I just
Kevin!
Kevin.
On November 19th, attorneys for Kevin petitioned the State Court of Appeals to overturn his conviction because of the use of hypnosis, as well as withholding evidence. On December 9th, the state Supreme Court agrees to hear Coe's appeal. In March of 1983, in pretrial statements to the court, Coe said that the prosecutor was engaged in malicious and vindictive prosecution, if not an out-and-out criminal conspiracy.
Oh my!
The prosecutor's like, bro, you received a fair trial.
Mhm. Like, fuck off.
Right. So on June 13th, Kevin's case is argued before the state Supreme Court. The court is asked to decide on the issue of hypnosis on crime victims and having those victims testify in a trial. Brockett argued that hypnosis was merely to bring out past recollection and remove blocks from the memory.
Mm-hmm.
Now, while all of this is going on, you know, the Jack Olson book has come out, The Son, a Psychopath and His Victims. And here's Coe sitting in jail and he's like, I'm going to sue.
Yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah.
He calls it like, and I read an article where he called it like hogwash or something, like whatever.
She is like so not having it with
I'm
him.
so over this dude. Like, he just was such, I mean,
He's an
This is-
entitled fucking brat.
he's an entitled fucking brat. He thinks that he's smarter than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He ruined how many lives, and he's just a douchebag. Like,
Yeah.
just fuck
And
you.
he won't ever understand that he did something wrong. That's
No.
like the hardest part. Like,
No,
it's
I
just
mean,
normal behavior for him.
yeah, it's just okay. On April 1st of 1984, Gordon Coe, Kevin's father, went on national television to say the book about his son wasn't true.
Oh god.
And at that point, he predicts that the Washington State Supreme Court will overturn the convictions.
Mm-mm.
On June 7th, the State Supreme Court overturned the 4 first-degree rape convictions.
The fuck?
In part because 3 of the 4 victims were hypnotized before identifying Coe.
Oh my god, this hypnotism.
They also said that there were too many errors made in the original trial. The High Court said the trial court erred when it allowed the testimony from witnesses who were hypnotized, and these were like the major witnesses against Coe. These were the other, the other rape survivors. These were, the jogger. This was the man that chased Coe naked down the street. Like, so on October 1st, Spokane County Superior Court Judge Michael Donahoe granted the defense's motion to hold Coe's second trial in Seattle because of the publicity. On December 26th, the King County... See, and I starred this, so you guys, if I got this wrong, don't come after me, but I swear I read that the King County Superior Court, Patricia Aiken, ruled that hypnotized victims could testify against Coe, which doesn't make any sense considering that was basically the whole reason that they were
it got turned
doing
on.
the second trial. So in 1985, January 7th of 1985, his second trial begins in Seattle. By this time, Jay knew that he needed to come forward and confessed that he had destroyed evidence for Coe.
Jay.
And so he ended up being the prosecution's surprise witness.
Ooh.
Everything that I read basically said that the second trial was just a repeat of the first trial. But he's only found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree rape. They couldn't come to a decision on the 4th. So now we've gone to 6 to 3. Well, 6 down to 4,
Down to
4
3.
down to 3.
sad.
So he was found guilty of rape in the first degree, count 3 in King County, and was sentenced to life plus 55 years. So this asshole just ended up getting more time appealing
Fucking
and
A.
having a second trial.
God.
I think it was the judge that said this. This morning I was trying to I'm like, where did this come from? Because the previous sentence before it doesn't make sense. But somebody said this. Mr. Coe is accused of attacking a woman who had just emerged from a bus while he was allegedly jogging. This woman was very brutally raped, and although it is difficult to determine whether or not a knife was displayed, a knife was threatened. There is also file information indicating that the woman was beaten, and during the course of the rape, Mr. Coe's gloved hand was rammed so far down her throat she had difficulty talking afterwards. So now he's had his second trial, but while all of the trial stuff is going on, he got into a pen pal relationship with a local Spokane woman.
Of course.
Eventually, she got married and moved to Idaho and had stopped writing to him and was basically like, please leave me alone.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. He kept writing to her. He wrote, "It is I who will teach you the meaning of pleasure."
Ew. You are not Pinhead. Don't even try to be. That's what that sounds like. I don't like it.
He sent that to her in a letter and asked her to send photos of herself.
Oh.
Then he sent her an audio tape, like a cassette tape, of him
jerking it.
masturbating.
God damn it.
And, you know,
Disgusting cow man.
How
explicit-
do people get these things to do that?
Yeah.
That's the one. Like,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah, I don't
understand. Okay.
an explicit talk. And she was like, fuck this. She called the police. That same summer or later in that summer, he also started writing to a 25-year-old woman who had read Jack Olson's book. So she had read the book.
And was still.
And then she was like, hey, I think this is a guy I should be in contact with.
Well, there's like some psychological thing of why some women do that.
Mhm.
I can't remember what it is, but it's like
Major daddy issues.
they
what
find
is.
it safe. It's hard. I'll have to look it up because
Yeah.
I've
I
heard
mean, I don't. By the fall, he was already talking to her about marriage. So in their letters, he would call her wifey poo and duckling.
ew.
She called him husbands.
All right,
That's kind of funny.
all right. That's rude because
You say husbunny.
yeah, that's too close.
Yeah, that's very close.
I don't like it.
Husbands.
And weirdly, he eventually gave her an ultimatum. Marry him now while he was in prison, and he would owe her a great debt. If she married him later, she would get nothing, including his fidelity.
What are you gonna do? Have sex with all the men that are in
Yeah,
prison
well,
with you?
I-
Oh, I'd be like, oh, okay,
For sure.
big man,
Um,
threatening me. You're in a.
she
fucking
did, though.
cage.
She did. She married this fucker in 1986.
Amazing.
Jeez.
Almost immediately, he had her applying for credit cards, increasing limits, and getting cash advances.
Amazing.
He had her pitching his book ideas to publishers, like, we're the greatest love story. Like, yeah, just all of her bidding. This poor woman, she's living on $1,400 a month, and she's completely isolated.
Ugh.
She finally came to her senses in 2008 and filed for divorce. The reaction that she got was, Coe was like, okay, Nevada's probably a good place for a quiet divorce. Just send all my files to my parents. And then he told her to take good care of herself because they, quote, might need to call her as a witness someday.
Ew.
Fuck.
I know, girl.
I went to go put in why do women love psychopaths, and it came up why do women love true crime,
Well,
why do chocolate attention, and then psychopaths.
okay.
So I just thought that just covered everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, go on now.
In 1986, Coe's lawyers filed an appeal. This was on March 3rd. They filed an appeal with the state Supreme Court citing the police hypnosis of witnesses as the cornerstone of the appeal. On January 27th of 1987, so this took like a whole year almost, during arguments before the state Supreme Court, Chief Justice Vernon Pearson called hypnosis, quote, witness tampering of the worst kind. On January 28th of 1988, so a year and a day, the Supreme Court, now remember, we're down to 3. So we went from 6 to 4, 4 to 3. The Supreme Court reverses 2 of the convictions and upholds the 3rd. Hypnosis is cited as the reason for the 2 reversals.
Oh my God.
The one that sticks is Jane's case.
Oh.
And the sentence he'd received for her rape of 25 years. Jane hadn't been hypnotized because she had seen his face.
Mm-hmm.
But then that meant, however, that all the justice for all of these women were like on her shoulders.
I was going to say, yeah.
The decision also meant that Coe could be eligible for parole in less than 4 years.
Wow.
So he received 25 years for her rape, but he could be eligible for parole in less than 4.
Oh my
Like,
fucking
this
God.
is so fucked up. And the thing is, you can't even say, well, this was like, you know, this was in 1988. The system's different. No, we don't have
it still
longer
happens.
sentences for this shit.
Yeah, this is not new.
In 1994, an inmate, Tim Cannon, razored FredKevin from his neck into his lower lip, and he had to get 100 stitches.
Oh,
and sorry,
fuck.
not sorry.
Wow.
I mean,
Honest to God, like, had he again, I don't condone vigilante whatever.
But karma has a way of working itself.
Yeah.
It really does. In 2006, Kevin had almost completed his full 25-year sentence.
Oh my God.
Now, it was possible that he could have received parole in as little as 4 years, but he refused to attend any of his parole hearings. That year, he sat down with Dateline's Sarah James. I'm going to read you some excerpts from that interview. So she asks, "Why are you sitting down with us today?" Kevin says, "To talk about the truth, the facts, the evidence in my case. My side of the case has never really been heard 25 years into the case."
Oh my God.
Sarah James, "And in a nutshell, what is your side of the case?" Coe, "Neither the physical evidence nor the identification evidence matches me at all. They have the wrong person. They've had for 25 years. Sarah James, "You're innocent?" Coe, "Absolutely. I'm not the South Hill rapist. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a criminal of any kind. I'm an innocent person. The facts prove it. The evidence proves it." Now, to be fair, Coe has always maintained his innocence. He didn't attend any prison counseling sessions, and he never went to the parole hearings. And when asked by Sarah James why he hadn't attended any of the parole hearings, he said, "Parole hearings? Oh, no. They won't let you go unless you admit guilt. I'm not going to admit guilt. I did nothing wrong. I've been appealing this case for 25 straight years. There was no point at which I was going to the parole board and say, 'Oh yeah, and let me out.'" Which is sort of hilarious because he had admitted to a rape when he thought he was going to get into a mental hospital.
Yes. He's terrifying.
Yeah, he really is.
Ooh.
His eyes. And I mean, even
the
when
nose and the eyes are just like...
even when he's young, like, you can see younger pictures of him.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, his features are just
They're
really sharp.
Yes, they're very
And-
angular.
Yeah, it's...
And he looks like a villain in a cartoon.
He does. He looks like a Disney villain.
Yeah.
That is, yes.
Yeah.
And then as he got older, just, I don't know what's going on with that hair, but it was not a good look. Sarah James said, "Your mom said you couldn't have done this. He was with us." Coe, "Oh yeah, I was with my parents, both, or just my mother, or just my dad, at the time of every single one of those."
Okay.
Sarah James says, "It seems like kind of a coincidence, actually, doesn't it?" And Coe said, "That's the way my lifestyle was." He also defended his mother, saying, "Did she hate Brockett? Oh, yeah. To the day she died, did she hate Shields? Oh, yes. To the day she died, they were evil people in her mind, and she was right. But I'm saying this to you. She never went out looking for a hitman. She fell into their trap."
Those tapes don't exist. Hypnosis.
Sarah James said, "Why would an innocent woman do this? Say she wants to turn the prosecutor into a vegetable. Why do you do that if you don't want to kill him?" Coe said, "Well, there's a big difference between saying it and actually doing it." And I'm like, motherfucker, she was trying to do it.
It's very...
She gave
She gave him
$500
money,
She
yeah.
gave him $500.
That's officially like a
Very clear.
transaction now.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now here's good old Kevin. He's nearing the end of his 25-year bid. I mean, he did the whole thing, which I think is just a testament to how much of a narcissist he is, where he was like literally willing to spend 25 years in prison just to not.
So he didn't have to admit anything.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's expecting to be released, but on August 30th, the state attorney general files a petition to have Coe civilly committed as a sexual predator. The filing blocks Coe's September 8th release from Walla Walla State Penitentiary.
Oof.
So back in 1990, Washington had passed the, quote, Community Protection Act, which allows the state to keep the most dangerously sexually violent predators locked up even after their sentences have ended.
Oh, wow.
They have to be sent by a jury, so basically it's like another trial. And if the jury finds them likely to reoffend, they get sent to McNeil Island, which is described as a mental hospital meets Alcatraz.
That sounds like a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Whoa. They literally like ship them off to an island.
that's
They do.
crazy. I had no idea.
That is that still a thing?
McNeil, yeah, it's still open. It's still there.
Oh my God,
That's
no,
where
no.
he, we're going to get to it, but that's where he is.
That's fucking nuts.
I didn't know that. Oh my god.
Attorney General Rob McKenna told Sarah James, these folks represent a little over 1% of the sexual offender population of Washington state. These are the worst of the worst.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
Could you imagine working there?
Yeah, that's what I was just
Ugh,
thinking.
No.
God, this is some Shutter Island shit.
Yeah, man.
Seriously. So on October 16th of 2008, the trial begins for his commitment. During the trial, a long-lost box of evidence was located. In it, a slide from Jane's rape kit. DNA testing definitively tied FredKevin to her rape. Unfortunately, it's the rape he had already served time for, so it wasn't like they could put him back in jail. A medical expert reviewed Coe's file and diagnosed Coe with 4 different mental abnormalities and concluded that Coe might reoffend if not placed in a secure facility. So that document that I was reading that has all of the very, very graphic, all the the physical things he did to these women, the things he said to them. He really liked to tell people that they had beautiful C-word,
Oh,
like
God.
just the
Like-
stuff. I mean, it's no.
It is closed.
Oh,
It closed in 2011.
well then I don't know where he is now. Well, hold on, let me double check because the last thing I read is that he was still there. Way to blow up my shit.
Sorry. So it looks like it's maybe just not on the island anymore. It looks like it exists, but it's not. It's on land. It's by Steilacoom.
Oh, okay.
So the island's closed to like prisoner. They probably found it to be inhumane
Well, yeah, and they
to
said
send
it
a bunch
was
of people to a
expensive. It
Yeah.
says how much. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway.
Sorry about that. I was like, how it?
Me too.
I was
This
very
like-
curious about this place.
So anyway, this doctor, which I think her last name is Phoenix, concluded that Coe might reoffend if not placed in a secure facility.
Oh, totally.
Coe's lawyer, I mean, he definitely would have, especially
'Cause
if
he
you
doesn't
read
think-
if you read the document of what he did, and the fact that so there was another victim that I didn't even know about until I read this, which was during his first marriage to his first wife. There was a period of time where her sister-in-law had left her young son, an 8-year-old, in their care, and how Kevin just brutally tortured this kid, both physically and sexually, and like just what happened with that motherfucker should have been.
It's disgusting.
Anyway, it's really disgusting. Like, I'm seriously probably gonna have nightmares. So if you choose, we're gonna link that document in our show notes because if some people are the people that are like, I have to know everything he did and what he said. You are welcome to read it, but I warn you that
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
She read it to us.
I read one.
Yeah. Just part of it.
Coe's lawyer argued that he had served his time and deserved to be released. And I actually talked about this with my boss as well because I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it, you know, and I work for a libertarian, so he's definitely makes me rethink things sometimes where it's like, yes, this guy should absolutely be locked up forever. Forever. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like,
The justice system did its
like, what if
quote
it
unquote job.
Yeah, but I'm just like, what the justice system, and I'm like, what if it was somebody that was really innocent or something? The fact that the state can just commit you for the rest of your life indefinitely
is
The justice
kind of
system
scary.
is like it's terrifying when it doesn't work. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like when it like there are some things that you're like, holy fucking
Oh my
shirt
God.
balls.
Where is because it's part of the stuff that all got erased when I was working. Okay. So I'm just gonna add this little tidbit in here. So this was way back before I think they had even arrested him. But one of the big dramas that was surrounding this case was that the police chief at the time made a comment to a newscaster, which he claims, which was off the air, and he claims was a private conversation. She was just like, it absolutely was not. And he also said it was a joke. But let me tell you what, if you think that this is a joke, you're part of the problem. The police chief says to this woman, if women want to stop getting raped, they should just lay back and enjoy it. And she put that on the news, and he got pissed, and she was like, it's my responsibility for people of Spokane to know how their police chief thinks about rape.
Holy fuck.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
Because I was getting to the end, and I'm like,
You should
why?
just lay back
I
and
was just
enjoy
like,
it.
why
Holy
didn't this,
shit.
like, did I skip a page of stuff? Because I've done that before, and scrolling just, like, skipped past it. But
Ugh.
no, I think that was part. So when I was preparing this, I spent a whole night working and adding stuff into the timeline, and then I forgot to save it. And so I closed the document, and it all went away.
We all tried to help, but it didn't.
Yeah,
work
so
out.
now my autosave is on. But yeah, so I missed that part.
Holy
But yeah.
fuck, dude.
Right? I know. I was just like, I can't believe that I am reading these words. Remember that audio recording that I said he sent to the woman in Idaho?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Jay identified his voice on that tape where he's telling the woman the things he wants to do sexually.
Mhm.
And part of it involved, urine and feces during sex. Now, I am not trying to kink shame,
Mhm.
but you guys, I feel like that's unsanitary. So if it is something that you're going to do,
Wash your hands.
just be really careful. Again, not kink shaming, just like that is not my jam. And it just makes me think of Team America World Police.
Oh my god, I have not seen that
But
movie
do you
in a
remember
long-
when
Yes.
the puppet,
Oh god.
shit on the other
the
puppet? Yeah.
So that's what
Flashing back.
comes into my head. In reviewing all of the documents, prosecutors learned that at least one psychiatrist had diagnosed Coe as a psychopath. Sarah James asked about him in that interview, and he was like, I'm not a psychopath. And she was like, you're not a psychopath. No, certainly not. But if you're a psychopath, then you're a really good liar, and you're lying to me right now. And he's like, what if I'm innocent?
Oh my god.
Anyway, after a month-long trial at which both Jane and Jay testify, a Spokane County jury declares Coe a sexually violent predator, a designation that gives the government the right to hold him indefinitely at that special commitment center in Western Washington, which was on McNeil Island, as Emily has let us know, and is now on the mainland.
They're not banished to a 6x6 mile fucking island. Jesus.
Ruth and Gordon, they had moved to Nevada after she completed her sentence. The whole trial, like everything, like they lost all of their money.
Oh, yeah.
It really just fucked their lives. She passed away in Henderson, Nevada in 1996 at the age of 75. She had been having all kinds of health problems for years, and Gordon took care of her. He passed away. So after I guess she died, he must have returned back to Washington. He passed away from complications of a stroke in 1999 at the age of 82. He had been residing in a nursing home in Edmonds. Both of them defended Kevin, and Gordon defended Ruth, like, until their deaths.
Of course.
Coe remains at the McNeil Island, not on the island thing, and continues to get into trouble, like continuing to masturbate when a female counselor was in the room. Like, she got into the room, he was apparently already masturbating, and then was just like, yeah, I don't need to stop for this.
How very Silence of the Lambs.
I guess, yeah,
Oh,
right?
God,
Migs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And I know that because I just watched
She just
it
watched
like
it.
2 days
great
ago.
movie.
Oof.
He still continues to maintain his innocence. I read there were several articles about how he has just like volumes of writing where he claims he's still on the hunt for the South Hill rapist, and he has deemed himself like the #1 authority, not because he was it, but because he's done so much research. I don't know.
Why didn't he just start a podcast then?
Like, I really,
Mhm.
I really, really hate him. And if you guys are interested, another thing that we will link in the show notes is there's apparently a Justice Denied magazine, which looks like it's like an old website. But he puts his whole story, his whole defense and stuff out there, and I did not put input any of it because it's just such fucking nonsense. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna give this dickhead a second of airtime
No.
for his thoughts. But if you are interested in reading what he has to say, we will link that as well. Who's the South Hill rapist? The Kevin Coe story by Kevin Coe.
Back Kevin Coe.
Justice Denied, the magazine for the wrongly convicted. Like, this is
Oh,
the last
no.
paragraph. Not long ago, while watching an episode of the old television program Quincy, I discovered that sperm motility is an identifier evidence as the medical examiner saves an innocent man accused of rape. I need a lawyer interested in justice and who recognizes the huge lawsuit potential here to file a personal restraint petition to free me based on the sperm motility proof of innocence I possess. The evidence that clears me. I sure you do. And this is bullshit too. So their staff wrote that she said that he resembled the actor Eric Estrada, who played on the Chips TV series, black hair and Spanish or Italian looking. Kevin is fair-skinned and has light brown hair. A JD investigator found many unsettling things about this case, including that the Spokane's prosecutor's office destroyed the rape kits that could have conclusively proven Kevin's innocence. I did not find the evidence of that. Again, like, I don't know how I feel about the whole civil commitment thing, but on the other hand, I'm like, thank God this guy is locked up and
away.
But, you know, he has also said stuff like, oh, it's good though. Like, they're actually doing me a favor, keeping me locked up. If I was, you know, if they, and he has a point, like, if they released him at this point, he has no money. He has no family.
Yeah.
He had, you know, he's like, I would probably end up being homeless. Like, who's going to hire a 60, 70 something year old sexual predator felon? So that's it. I'm done. I'm so done with this story.
Yay.
I really wanted to read Son, a Psychopath, and I might still end up buying that.
You still can, and then let us
reading that,
know.
and maybe I give you updates on that book. But I'm glad to be done with him, and
I'm glad you're done with him too.
I hope he is really miserable for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he will be, because he thinks he's right, so he'll be forever.
Yeah, I mean, and he's still trying to get things overturned, and I mean, it's crazy to me that he terrorized Spokane for years, raped anywhere from 30 to 40 women, and it was one conviction.
Yeah.
Well, that was terrible. Like always, terrible.
Yay.
Gross. Okay.
Thank you. We love you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. We put out new episodes every single Wednesday, and if you're impatient like me, be sure to become a Patreon where you can get your episodes early each week. For as little as $2 a month, you not only significantly support the production of this podcast, but you'll also get extra benefits and perks for being one of our special Patreon Weirdlings. Go to patreon.com/threesacrime for more information. For all of our links related to our socials, affiliate codes, where to listen, and everything else, go to linktree/threesacrime.
If you're a podcast junkie like we are, you've probably considered starting your own. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it would be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. If you've ever considered starting a podcast, this is your sign. Start one. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you, and you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan. All you need is a microphone and a quiet place. Listen, I'm literally on my bed with a blanket over my head talking to you right now. I promise it's easy and you can do it almost anywhere. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world and start your podcast today.